This is 7 News.
Tonight, bricks thrown, 3 arrested as police put new party laws to the test.
Yeah, it's pretty scary.
Outrage after an Australian mosque claims Christmas goodwill is a sin. Police charge a volunteer gift giver because his festive lights are too bright.
Kids were crying.
And tears from a sick Perth grandmother granted her final wish.
And I want to thank everybody.
From the studios of 7 Perth, Samantha Jolly.
Good evening. 3 people have been arrested at a 30th birthday in Padbury after new out-of-control party laws were tested for the first time. Locals say they were scared for their safety, but the party hosts believe they were made an example of by police, who they claim abused their new powers. A man's been taken to hospital with a wound to his arm after he was attacked with a chainsaw in a fight at a country pub. Kate Smithers reports from Northam, where police have charged a 21-year-old bar manager. Thanks, Kate. Fire crews were called to Perth International Airport this morning after a bus caught fire. The incident happened at around 8 o'clock near the main entrance to the international terminal. Investigators are trying to establish if an electrical fault or diesel spill were to blame.
The fuel started spitting out the bottom and all the flames started coming out the bottom as well. So it got a little bit nerve-wracking. You weren't sure if the bus was going to actually explode or not.
The vehicle was not a gas bus, which have been linked to 5 fires in the past 5 years. An Australian mosque is facing a major backlash from both Christians and Muslims after declaring it's a sin to wish anyone a Merry Christmas. The mosque says the fatwa was an innocent mistake, but the group has been flooded with criticism and racist taunts. Charges are being considered against the Australian DJs at the centre of the Royal Radio prank scandal. Scotland Yard has sent a file to prosecutors who will decide if Mel Gregg and Michael Christian committed any offence when they duped staff at the hospital where the Duchess of Cambridge was being treated. Nurse Jacinta Saldana took her own life just days after the prank call, which is also being investigated by Australia's media watchdog. More than a dozen tourists have been injured when their minibus plunged off a cliff in the Gold Coast hinterland. The 20-seater bus rolled several times down a steep embankment at Mount Tamborine this afternoon. Emergency crews had to stretcher the most critically injured up the hillside. Rescuers set up a makeshift hospital on the road. And a man has died on the Gold Coast after he was crushed by an awning. He was pinned against a wall after the awning gave way outside shops on the Gold Coast. An off-duty nurse and volunteer lifesavers rushed to help but were unable to revive him. 3 women were also underneath the structure when it fell. They were taken to hospital with minor injuries. Opposition leader Tony Abbott is calling for the creation of an e-safety commissioner to protect children from online dangers. With thousands of smartphones, tablets and gaming consoles set to appear under the Christmas tree, tech experts say many parents are unaware of the damage toys can do if they're able to connect to the internet. 1,000 sets of Australian twins are helping researchers develop new insights into breast cancer. Scientists say the results won't just benefit female siblings, but all women at risk of developing the deadly disease. It's time for sport now with Chris Young, and there's still doubts about Michael Clarke, Chris.
Sam, the Australian skipper rates himself only a 50-50 chance of playing in the Boxing Day test, and a Big Bash blow-up. Questions asked about a West Indian spinner.
I just want something done. He couldn't bowl in the IPL last year.
And a rough night in the Premier League for Mark Schwarzer.
And what about that for a volley?
And another baby girl for the Eagles family. Congratulations to Dean and Kerry Cox on the birth of little Charlotte yesterday. Well done. That's sport. Here's Sam.
Thanks, Chris. I'll be back after the break with Fuel Watch and find out how hot it will be for Christmas Eve. We didn't quite reach our expected top today, but it's set to warm up as of tomorrow. Our maximum for today was 26.7 at just before 1, following an overnight low of 17. The current temperature in the city is 22.8 degrees and the wind is southwest at 20 kilometres an hour. On the chart, that broad heat trough will hang around in the north of the state for a few days yet, and a high pressure system will move through the south of the state tomorrow as a surface trough develops near the west coast. Let's have a look around WA. 38 degrees in Kununurra and Karratha tomorrow, 43 expected in Exmouth and 30 the top for Bunbury. Around the nation tomorrow, chance of a storm for Canberra and Sydney, showers and 21 in Hobart and mostly fine in Brisbane. On the water, south to southeasterly winds 15 to 20 knots, turning southerly late morning, seas 1 to 2 metres with a swell of 1.5. Now for tomorrow's Christmas Eve forecast, sunny with a top of 34 degrees. It will drop down to 17 overnight. And for Christmas Day, another sunny one, a maximum of 39 degrees, then clear and 38 for Boxing Day. Mostly sunny and 39 Thursday and a shower or two on Friday. And that's 7 News this Sunday. Thanks for your company. I'll have updates a little later, but for now, good night.